Happy Friday. We made it. Thank you for joining me here on Community Engagement Chats. My name is Makara Rumley. I'm the founder and chief engagement officer at Hummingbird Firm, where we do community engagement, obviously, public involvement, public participation for projects that impact everyday people. Some of those projects may include trails, bridges, roads, environmental cleanups, master planning, and working on these projects, being the cultural translator for the teams that we're on, can present a lot of challenges. And so today, I want this conversation, this chat, to be all about community engagement challenges. And I really invite everyone who's listening and participating today to let me know and really share what your challenges are, so we can talk through them together. Uh, Obviously, I'll start, and first I'm just gonna say good morning. And as you come into the chat, just please say where you're from. I'm actually usually based in Atlanta, but I am in Gaithersburg, Maryland today, which is my hometown. Came in town to check on family. So this COVID thing is just lasting way too long. But life goes on. You got to keep moving. So I'm going to start this conversation about challenges, and one of the challenges that I experience, again, I'm not at home, so you hear the phone ringing in the background because it's not my house, is that Rome was not built in a day, right? So if you choose some approaches to how to communicate with people, it may take some time for you to really see results. They're not going to happen immediately. One example would be language translation. So oftentimes we go in communities, and yes, English is the primary language, but there are other major languages that are spoken, whether it's Spanish, uh, French, Russian, and any language you think of. We could be working in a community, and there's another language that is also spoken. And so, to make sure that we are getting everyone's input and letting everyone know what is going on, then we have to do some translation. And that could be translation of our written materials, and it also, if it's a really big event and you want people to participate, it could be some actual interpretation. And that obviously happens simultaneous, real time. So let's say you determine that there are other languages spoken in the neighborhood, and you're going to translate all this document and make that resource investment. And then it doesn't seem as if people are reading it. It seems like, hey, I did my research and it seemed like people spoke this particular language, and I've translated these documents, but no one is going to get them off the website, or no one's taking them from the pile of papers, when we were in person. So your first event, your second event, they might not, but event three, event four, event five, then yes, people will start to realize that you've made preparations for them. If they're not used to those preparations being made, then they're not going to expect them. So it's not always like that Kevin Costner movie, If You Build It, They Will Come, about a baseball field. You can translate materials, and nobody will come and get them because they don't know that they're there. But as word spreads and they see that you are being intentionally inclusive, then people will take advantage of how you are reaching out to them wanting to dialogue with them and have them be part of the conversation. So that's one of my biggest challenges. Sometimes convincing my clients that, hey, we're doing this to show that we have the intention of being inclusive, even though we might not immediately see those quantitative, numbers that we can count, measurements, but qualitatively, people are now starting to feel that you really care about what it is that they say and they think and what their perspectives are because you translated documents in their language or you provided an interpreter for them so that they could participate. So, again, Rome was not built in a day. So certain community engagement techniques take some time to simmer before you really see those results. So one of the other challenges I would say that we experience with the community engagement that we do is trust. And I know that I've talked about trust in the past, but let's say you're planning a meeting, you're planning a public meeting, and you're planning an activity in order to engage people, but there are a lot of people who are like giving you like the side eye, like they're really suspicious that this is what you say it is, and who's funding this, and who is this for, and what is this really about? And those are probably all really valid questions based off of their past experiences. So you have to be prepared to answer them without being defensive, with being straightforward, giving them the facts, um, letting them know, answering those questions directly, not just answering the questions that you want to answer and ignoring the ones that you don't, such as funding. It's public knowledge. You should let people know who's funding an activity if they're interested, if they ask the question, because the more you don't answer, the more those suspicions rise and they grow. So it's important to just to call that out. I'm going to see if we have any other challenges in the chat that anyone wants to share. So I'm looking at that. Any challenges that you are experiencing or have experienced with regards to community engagement? Tell me now so we can talk about it. Well, as you're continuing to think, then, I'll share a couple of more challenges that we have. Community engagement is a muscle, and some of your approaches and your strategies may not seem linear or make sense to the uninitiated, right? The professional who hasn't been in lots of meetings and hasn't experienced when community engagement has gone well, and when community engagement has presented challenges. So you have to get them to trust you. You know, just trust me. Let me do what I know. Let us do what we're good at. Stay, not that you shouldn't have questions, but allow us to work our magic, even if you don't understand why we are taking a particular course. So I just want to say thanks for everyone who has decided to join in today. Um, One bit of good news, we relaunched our website. So there are a lot of interesting things on there. If you haven't had an opportunity to visit, I welcome you to visit. I'm going to put the website in the chat right here. All right. So www.hummingbirdfirm.com. And I will see you next Friday. Thanks again for joining us. Bye.